Hey, class of 2020, Abby here, if we haven't met. First, I just want to say that I'm so excited for you that you're graduating. I'm sorry that it's not necessarily in the way that you hoped, but we are so proud of you in SM and are so excited to see what you do in this next season. They asked me to share with you guys this week about church and Christianity. And this is, I feel like, a really important topic that maybe we don't talk about enough um, with people your age. Why church is important, just because it feels like it's something that we just do. And maybe it's something that like your family's always done, or it's just become a routine for you. But I really want to kind of dive in and talk about this idea that like you can have faith without church. Worship can happen anywhere, but it's really vital that you not do it alone. And it's really vital that you consider keeping church a part of your life. And I get it, like sometimes church can feel really unnecessary. I mean, with podcasts and being able to watch any worship live stream, especially now online, or just reading books, reading the Bible on your own, having your own prayer life, like that feels like that's enough. And I get that. Or maybe like you see things in the church that you want to be different, things you don't understand or feels outdated, or these different things that you wish you could see be different, and it feels like you maybe don't want to participate in. And I'm not talking about like blatantly wrong, like moral issues happening, but maybe more just like it doesn't fit your style, or it doesn't speak to you, or it doesn't seem like it's being what it could be, right? Or maybe you're just in a season of doubt, and that's valid and that's real. And maybe you're kind of wondering what's the point if you have doubts about faith and about God. But I really still want to, in light of all those reasons, and however you may be feeling or wherever you might be at, I still want to strongly encourage you to stay connected to a church after you graduate. I left home after high school, went to college at a school where I didn't know a single soul, didn't know anybody in the town I moved to. And it seemed silly to go find a church in a town that I wasn't like permanently living in. It was just me, but I still like felt this need to stay connected to church, and I tried out a few different places, and I ended up landing at a church that I stayed at and I served at for 3 years. And honestly, like those people at that church became family to me in the way that like you might feel about some of the people at Overlake or at SM as well. They walked with me through some really hard stuff. And being in that community like really grew my faith and guided me to follow Jesus better. So kind of coming from that being my experience and why I want to share about this and why I care about this, I do want to share a passage and 4 reasons why I think it'd be really wise of you to consider getting plugged into a church community. So let me share this passage from Romans 12 with you. And if you are following along, it's Romans 12, 3-8. So, for by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. For just as each of us is one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function, so in Christ we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. And if it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. So keeping that passage in mind, the first reason why I want you to consider staying plugged into a church is community. this passage is describing a community. It's a living, breathing group of people who are there for each other and in each other's lives, for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think you know that you need community. We all need community. And I want to encourage you that no matter what your next season looks like, whether you are going to college, taking a gap year, going straight into the workforce, taking some time to figure things out, it's going to be important to have people around to support you and care about you. And I'm not saying you can't find that outside of a church, but I am saying that's a really easy way to find a community and to find people who are going to help you be the best version of yourself. I think of that phrase, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And it's so cheesy and it feels so silly to say, but in my experience, that has been so true in my own life. In seasons where I'm plugged in with good people, I can see myself growing. And in seasons where I'm just hanging out with whoever, I don't see that same growth in myself. And again, not that you can't find that outside of the church, but I'm telling you, I promise if you find a church where you feel like you fit, those people are going to come. Those people are going to be part of your life. You need role models. You need mentorship. You need those people that push you. And in a healthy church community, I promise you'll find that. So the second thing I want you to consider is perspective. You need perspective in your life. You don't have all the answers. None of us do, right? This passage is talking about how we're all one part of the body, but we're not every part of the body, right? We don't know everything. And I found in my life that the easiest way to find people who give me perspective is by finding people who are different ages than me, different backgrounds than me, grew up in a different community than I did. And I think that it's a really smart idea to find that in church. I think of Overlake, the people that I've met through Overlake are different ethnicities than me, different ages. They came from different backgrounds. They're different socioeconomic statuses. It's people I wouldn't have met in my day-to-day life otherwise. But then I think about the things those people can teach me. When I was in college, I desperately needed people to teach me how to be generous and hospitable. And there were people at my church in college and churches that I've attended since that have really shown me and taught me that. And it's something I've been able to grow in because of their teaching, because of their mentorship, and watching them on a day-to-day basis with that. So I want to encourage you, all the gifts that he's laying out here in Romans 12, prophesying and serving, teaching, encouragement, these are things that we can also grow in by being around people who have those giftings and being in community with those people. Next is giving and serving. I think one of the reasons people don't plug into church is because they get in this consumer mentality of I can listen to the best sermons on earth and the best worship sets on earth, through a screen, right? And that's valid and it's not bad to enjoy those things, and I do too, but you need a place where you can be serving, where you can be giving to others, and where you can kind of be in that messy day-to-day life with people, because I think that's what Jesus uses most to grow us. Christianity is not meant to be an individual, every man for themselves kind of religion. Christianity is about community. It's about faith. There's a reason Jesus got the disciples together as a whole crew, and that's who he stuck with. He didn't pick one guy that then did it all, right? Community is so important, and I think you need that accountability, and you need to give to receive. And finally, my last point is that even if you're in a season of doubting, I want to encourage you, even if you haven't heard this from someone before, your doubts are welcome in faith community. God can handle your doubts. God can handle your questions. He can handle anything, honestly. So I encourage you, don't let that be what keeps you from giving church a try in this next season, right? Or continuing to be plugged into a church community. As someone who's a little ahead of you on this journey in faith and in life, and I've walked with doubt before, I can tell you that's That's not all God is. Like, let him surprise you. Let God surprise you. Let church surprise you. And continue to just put forth that little bit of faith and take that next step to stay plugged into a community. So that's all the thoughts that I have for you guys. I miss you dearly. I hope the best and pray the best for you in this next season. And I really look forward to seeing where you go and what you do and who you become. And I'm just grateful for knowing you in this season. Thanks so much.
Hey SM, Matt here, and this is my wife Allie, and we're gonna worship together.
Worthy
for you. We're so thankful that you're constant and that you're beautiful. And like our first song said, we're going to put our trust in you and you alone. Sometimes that feels like that's all we have, and that's okay. You are strong, you're beautiful, you love us, and you take care of us. So we will put our trust in you and you alone, and we will not be shaken. Thank you for everything you've done for us, Lord. We love you. Amen.
Amen. Deuces.